guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new idontworkherelady content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled Sitting Reading a Book vs. Hell Demon. I'd like to preface this by saying that the language used by the awful person in question is not language I condone or use myself. Realizing that I've actually had two IDWHL experiences a few years ago, both hilariously enough within days of each other. This, however, was the rudest, worst person. Part of my job at the time was collecting food for clients, so I find myself entering an establishment that Prince Andrew loves and goes to a lot jokes. When I go in, the host greets me and I give him my order number. He tells me it'll be about 20 minutes, but please wait. All good, I tell him. I'm not in a huge rush and I've bought my Kindle for this exact purpose. So I can set the picture. It's winter, so I'm dressed in jeans, a big black, thick jacket and a bright purple beanie. The restaurant staff in question are in smart, white shirts and suit trousers. No beanies, no jeans, no thick, winter coats. There was a couch for waiting customers next to the host stand, so I sit down and start reading. At some point, the door opens and I'm vaguely aware of a draft of cold air. Ah, girl, ahem, 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 ahem. I'm completely oblivious that I am the subject of the ahems. Ah. Foot stamp and another ahem. I look up, see an angry hell demon practically jumping out of her skin. Her eyes buggy. She's well dressed but wearing a comically large hat that makes her looks like she's being abducted by a UFO. Me. Oh, I'm being served, you can go on ahead. Ah. She interrupted me, table for two. Me. Sorry I don't work here? Ah. Do you speak English? Table for two. I'm baffled here, completely taken aback. Ah. Are you deaf? Me. Ah. I don't work here. Ah. Are you retarded? I want a table for two. I gave up trying to speak and thankfully the host came over at this point. Ah, girl gives me the filthiest look possible and mutters under her breath about me being special needs and ugly and stomps after the host. Her boyfriend, whatever sort of shrugged like this was normal behavior and followed his awful girlfriend to their table. The next story is titled This Pharmacy Doesn't Sell Auto Parts. Years ago, I worked for AutoZone, a U.S. auto parts store where the employees wear red or gray shirts and have the company logo on their name tag and shirt. I was in uniform and decided to stop at Walgreens for a snack on my way to work. I was perusing the carbohydrates section when I hear someone ask where the cough syrup is. As I don't work there, I ignore the voice. I decide upon my snack and begin walk towards the checkout. Again, the voice, louder this time, demands to know where the cough syrup is. I ignore it, assuming incorrectly that they were talking to someone else. Finally, this person nearly screams, "Hey! You work here, where is the cough syrup?" I turned around, in my gray shirt with company logo, and my name tag also with company logo, in my black pants uniform pants. I stare the person in the eye and point to my shirt with logo of the auto parts company and say, "Ma'am, I don't believe this pharmacy sells auto parts. I don't work here, and I don't know where the cough syrup is." I turn to walk away, and the lady lets me know that she will be complaining to my manager about my attitude. I tell her to make sure she does that at the correct business. I finally buy my snack and leave. The next story is titled I Ducked Up by Assuming Someone Worked at the Asian Market Store. First off, I'm white and I feel super bad about this because I probably looked super racist for assuming this, but I swear it wasn't my intention. A very nice Asian market store in town does not have a uniform. One of the men who work there very often wears an apron, but that's it. I see a lady looking through the cute little bananas and I assume she is stalking them. In my defense, I mean she was really touching them for a while, like 5 minutes. I ask her very politely, "Excuse me, do you know where the chewy rice cakes are?" And she says, "Oh, I don't work here," and immediately I'm ashamed and apologizing as fast as my mouth will speak. But she ended up being very nice and said she completely understands. She ended up helping me find the rice cakes anyways because she went to the store so often she knew where it was. The next story is titled Crazy Karen Hits Me with Her Car. Hey, I'm new, so yay. I was about 12 to 13 when this incident happened, and looking back now I wish I could have hit her, but my friends and I was doing a ride out on our bikes and we were having fun, and this Karen is on her phone while pulling out of a driveway and literally hits my back tire, and I was going fast because my friends and I were racing and I wasn't paying attention, and my friend, let's call him G. So G gave me his bike and I followed her around the block and I was waving for her to roll her window down and she did, so here's how it went. Karen. What, you little crap, me? You ducking hit me back there, Karen. Well, you should pay more attention, me. You were on your ducking phone, Karen. No, I wasn't, me. Yes, you were, I have it on camera, Karen. Shut up, you little crap, me. Oh yay, nice mirror. Then I smashed it and I went back to where my friends were and I called my dad to come get me, and he got my friends and I, and thank God my dad brought his truck, so one of my tall friends sat in the bed of the truck and we had the window open and the conversation went like this. Dad. So what the duck happened, me? This lady hit my back tire, Dad. Was your camera recording me? Yay, Dad. Okay, good, we're going to the police right now. So my friends called their parents and they said everything about the incident and we got the license plate, and in the end I got my bike fixed and I was able to ride again. Thank you for reading this. The next story is titled Well, I Wasn't Looking at Her Boobs. I worked as a third-party contractor for an electronics company. I went into stores to place orders for products to replenish stock, put products in cases, on shelves throughout the department, and set up displays. Our uniforms had T-shirts with the company logo in huge letters across our chests, and you wore jeans. One day I was in everyone's favorite Mart putting items in a case when a gentleman and his girlfriend came up and asked where an item was. I said, I'm sorry, I don't know where it is. I don't work here, but there's a gentleman at the desk in a vest that'll be able to help you. The girlfriend says, I told you she doesn't work here. The logo says, insert company name. He replies, well, I wasn't looking at her boobs. I wish them a good day while trying not to bust out laughing. The next story is titled She Doesn't Work Here and Now You Have to Leave. I know this is supposed to be our own experiences, but I was part of it. I was assisting a customer at the service desk. Customer was in her work uniform from a restaurant. She still had on her brown apron, their new light blue polos with the restaurant logo, black dress pants. I'm inside the customer service desk, so it's clear I work there. We wear a black apron, a name tag, our own shirts and blue jeans. Our uniforms look nothing alike other than we both are wearing an apron. Another customer walks up to her just as I'm giving her the change and asks where something is. She answered she didn't know, but I could probably help since I do. Before I could speak, he grabbed her apron strings, the ones around her neck, and yanks, telling her she clearly does work here and he needs help, starting to pull her away from the desk. Me. Oh, hey, no, let go of her. Customer 1. Swatting his hands, let go of me. Customer 2. Not letting go, she needs to learn some manners and how to do her job. Me. I'm calling the police. Another nearby cashier had already called for the store manager to the service desk. My department manager came out of her office at the same time. Customer 1 was trying to duck out of her apron to get away from this mental ward applicant, and he's not about to let go. Both of them hurry over to help her. I am on the line with the police. There was a lot of yelling, let go, stop, she needs to be fired, to the point I'm not sure who was yelling what. He suddenly let go and started walking to the exit. My store manager was a few steps behind him, telling him he needed to wait for the police, to which he said screw you, and your horrible employees for treating a customer this way, and left. Store manager did yell at him that he was not to return to this store as he got into his vehicle and left. We have a good description of him, his vehicle, his license plate, which were given to the police. Customer 1 says yes, she is pressing charges if they catch him. Store manager contacted LP to pull the video from the cameras for the police and to start the corporate paperwork for a permanent ban, which includes a no trespassing order from the police so he can be immediately arrested for stepping foot on store property. The next story is titled Lady Doesn't Believe I Don't Work at Walmart and is Rude About My Stutter. This happened about a month ago. I went to Walmart on my way to work. We don't have a uniform, but I was wearing a navy blue polo with a picture of a UPS plane that said UPS Airbus 300 underneath. While I'm there, I go to the freezer aisle to get a quick meal so I can eat lunch at my desk right when I get in. While I'm trying to figure out what I want, one of the employees dropped a handful of frozen stuff, so I went and helped them pick it up. They thanked me and took their online order card and walked away. This lady apparently saw me helping and walked up to me and told me to help her find something. I tried to tell her that I didn't work there, but I have a severe blocking stutter. Which means while I'm speaking, I will stop because I can't physically say the word, so I end up standing there with my mouth open. So she cuts me off with a loud sigh saying, I don't have time for this. Don't bother, just go find me someone else to help. I finally manage to get out of the block and I tell her that I don't work there, pointing to my shirt with the UPS plane logo on it. She looks at it for a second, and then tells me that I'm wearing navy at Walmart, which means I work there and that I needed to go get someone else. I go to say that I don't work there and excuse me but I need to leave. But of course I start stuttering again. She stops me and tells me that I have to help her and that she's going to get my manager and tell them how horrible of an employee I was. I told her to go ahead, because I clearly don't work there, and she grabbed my wrist and pulls me to someone working in the clothes section right across from the frozen section. She raises her voice and tells them to get the supervisor, which they do. I'm annoyed because I knew I was losing time to get through TSA at a decent time and rolled my eyes. She got angry that I sighed and rolled my eyes and started yelling at me saying that she was going to get me in trouble. The supervisor comes over after a couple of minutes and she starts yelling at him because, how could they even consider hiring someone who can't even speak properly, and they need to get competent people working for them who can actually talk to customers to help. To which the supervisor looks both uncomfortable for her comments and confused because he clearly saw my shirt and knew I didn't work there. He looked at me and asked if I wanted to leave and I just nodded because I know that when I'm flustered my stuttering gets worse. So he tells me to go ahead and he tells me to have a good day and I just leave, not even getting my lunch. All the while she's still angrily talking to him about something or other. And yes, she did make me late. But at least my boss thought the story was funny. The next story is titled Funny Story of Little Girl. The next story is titled So Last week was my birthday, and my aunts decided to take me to shopping to try to make my birthday memorable for a good reason. My little brother had to be life flighted around 2 a.m. on my birthday. He's all good now. So anyways, we got to Kiwi Loco. I really like frozen yogurt lol, and it was fairly busy. I got my bowl, filled it up, then went through the small line to get toppings. I was waiting for my aunts to finish deciding what flavor they wanted and for them to get their toppings. I was standing near the toppings counter when I saw this little girl trying to get the Fruity Pebbles. This little girl was at eye level of the counter. I asked if she needed help and she said yes. I'm assuming, mom walked over, she saw me helping the little girl. She thanked me and seemed to rush off to take care of something else. Right after that another little girl who I assume was the other little girl's sister tapped me on the arm and in that cute little kid voice said, "Excuse me, can you help me get some Oreos?" I of course said, "Yeah sure." After I scooped an appropriate amount of Oreos, she asked me to get her some animal crackers. As I was scooping those the mother came back and asked her where her bowl was. I then set the bowl down, turned to the little girl and said, "Here you go. Is that enough crackers for you?" The little nodded and said thank you. The mother then turned to me and thanked me as well. I told her that it was no problem, then moved to get out of the way as I was blocking the sugary toppings. That was my first ever I don't work here lady, and I am honestly kinda proud I get to share it. The next story is titled Funny Work Wrong Number Calls. I work for a major transportation company and one thing that they have where I work is a phone. Since the phones are interconnected, all you have to do is dial extensions. We rarely get an outside of company call. Where I am working now I have to answer the phone for the specific section since I am the only one there, and up until a certain time I only got work-related calls. Then one day I answer my usual response mini load. I get someone asking to make an appointment with a podiatrist. I had to say sorry, wrong number, while holding in a laugh thinking, when did a podiatrist office move into a transportation warehouse? I think another wrong number came in for a person or pizza place. And the most recent was a person trying to do a survey or a petition. That woman was trying so hard to keep me on the phone even after I tried explaining you are calling a warehouse not a residence and we can't do what she is asking for. I ended up hanging up on her. I am still waiting for the car warranty scam to call. The next story is titled Customer Rings His Own Food. I work for a very popular quick food chain that started in the Midwest. During COVID, we had to close our lobby for obvious reasons, so we resorted to putting up a tent, the ones you'd see at fairs, to take orders outside in addition to our drive-thru because we can get very busy, but we also don't want to waste labor by having someone out there all day, so we just send someone to run out after we get X amount of cars lined up in the drive-thru and it remains unmanned otherwise. One day, we are having a slow afternoon. I work in kitchen and an order starts to pop up on the screen, which is weird because we have an overhead system that gives kitchen the audio when someone is taking an order in drive-thru, so I know we don't have a guest in drive and we have our breaks done, so it isn't one of my coworkers' food. I call up to Frontline to ask who's ordering and they are at a loss, so I look at the screen again and it says that it's coming from the POS that we have outside. Our POS isn't the easiest to navigate, or at least wasn't at the time, and usually requires 3 to 5 days of training to get someone used to all the different menus on it and to get them to remember asking for sauce on orders with tenders and condiments on burgers. Turns out, some customer had decided to take his own order on the POS outside, without issue, and cashed himself out. We don't have a register out there, you can only pay with card, so we weren't worried about him stealing. He even added his own side of sauce, he gave himself a number for the order, and he tendered it to the right location. A few of us managers were curious if he would be interested in a job because we are always in recruit mode, but he politely declined. Everyone on shift thought this was hilarious and the story was circulating around the store for a week or so because we found it so funny. The next story is titled German Lady Wanted to Get Me Fired in Another Store. I live in Germany, work in an electronics shop. This shop is inside a mall with some supermarkets. I was quickly grabbing something to eat in my break in a supermarket called Aldi, and while I stopped somewhere next to a high shelf, an old lady, maybe around 70 years old, asked me if I can give her a box that was at the very top of the shelf. I am a very kind soul and tried to get the box, but I am 150 meters big, so I am very small and couldn't reach it. I even jumped, but I still could not get the box. I told her I can't reach it and she should ask someone else and walked slowly away while looking at my phone. The lady yelled at me, "Excuse me? You don't want to help me? Get me the manager. Quick." Well, the lady didn't notice that I don't work in the Aldi and had something else as work outfit than the workers in the Aldi. The Aldi work outfit is mostly light blue, but mine is navy blue, dark blue with an orange star on the right chest. The fact that the lady didn't know. I am a daily customer and the manager knows and likes me a lot. I did like the lady told me. I brought her the manager but told him beforehand that the lady is rude and mad. The manager heard her side of the story while she was lying that I cursed at her, did look on my phone while work and don't care about customer wishes. Her words. You should fire her cause she triggers my PTBS of my bad neighbors. I could have had a heart attack cause of your bad employee. After that the manager said, that's sad, but this girl did never work in my company. I don't know why you call out one of my dear regular customers. This girl is everyday here and the nicest person who never swears in front of people. He called the security, and told her that she is not allowed to shop in this mall anymore. She was like loud air horn yelling and crying at the same time. Still screaming at me but crying to shop in that Aldi again. The whole time I was pretty chilled and enjoyed the show. At the end when she got escorted out, I even waved and smiled at her. When I told the story to my boss, he went to the supermarket, watched the security cam footage and came back laughing. The last 4 hours of my shift my boss sent me home and told me that I deserved that. Afterwards I thought about this situation and maybe the lady saw a person in a blue shirt and assumed that this person, me in that moment, works there. On the other hand, she could ask if this person works in this store. This is not a stupid question, it's a totally casual one cause everyone can be a customer or on break. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.